What's up, everyone? Monster Master Godzilla here, and I'm back continuing the Godzilla-Thon. We are now up to Godzilla 2000. Now, here we are. This is the beginning of the Millennium series, which is actually the beginning of the Millennium series, and it's a breath of fresh air after 1998. After the poor reception from American audiences, after hardcore Godzilla fans had been, after poor reception from hardcore Godzilla fans from 1998, Toho decided to bring back Godzilla's true image by making another Godzilla movie. Originally in 1995. Like, as what James Rolfe would say, that in 1995, Toho killed off Godzilla, while in 1998, TriStar raped the name. So, Toho decided to bring back the true original Godzilla, back into the big screen, beginning with Godzilla 2000. Well, here we go. Here's the thing about Godzilla 2000. In America, it was released in the year 2000. In the United States, it was released in America in the United States in 2000. I was 5 years old when it came out. It was in America, in the U.S., it was released in theaters in the year 2000. While in Japan, it was released in the year 1999. So it got its U.S. release in the year 2000. But then when people were once confused, thinking it was a sequel to 1998. But it's not. It's its own thing. And you can assume it's a direct sequel to the first film in 1998, in 1954. So the plot here is that it has some, unlike, like how there are storm chasers, where people watch for terrible storms like tornadoes. There's also Cree characters. The main cast was called the Godzilla Detection Agency, which is like storm chasers but detecting Godzilla in the area, which has an awesome concept. The music alone is amazing, and it has some awesome effects. Especially how Toho had evolved with their effects throughout the years of making Godzilla movies. Like, they're much more sophisticated than the Showa series, of course. And there are some scenes where it's CGI, and parts of it can look like crap. Probably because some things are just probably better in camera. That's all there is to it. And and Godzilla's design looks awesome. Like, this is Godzilla's design here. Like, look at that. Super badass looking. And yes, as you can see, they did change his trademark atomic breath to being orange. I mean, I don't mind the atomic breath being changed, but I still prefer the traditional blue atomic breath, which that's how I'm mostly used to seeing. And his roar is amazing. Still has trademark roar and everything. And it's definitely showing that Godzilla was like a bad guy being an anti-hero the majority of the movie, being like going on a rampage through most of the movie. And meanwhile they discovered a huge rock underwater, and as they pulled it out of the water, it turns out it was actually a UFO. And it turns out it was actually following the sun, which is how it was alive. It had a lot of suspense and being in the spaceship for most of the movie. Going into the theaters, hardcore Godzilla fans going into the theaters, they didn't expect Godzilla to go and fight another monster in this one. Because usually in the beginnings of they would assume that, like the Showa series, the beginning of the Showa series, as well as the beginning of the Heisei series, Godzilla is usually on his own and didn't fight another monster. So yes, they surprised you that he is fighting another monster. So then, after the whole thing was, and then it started evolving and evolves. And as it perched on a building, eventually Godzilla shows up, and then it fights the UFO, which is the UFO looks like this right here. Come on, auto camera focus. Come on, focus. Oh, there. Yeah, I think there it is, focusing on there. And so the monster. So then, the official creature alien was called Millennians. Are called Millennian. Alien creature is called a Millennian. So then, as the Godzilla's under the rubble, the creature ends up absorbing the energy in the air, and forms this alien known as the Millennian. And then tries to adjust to the oxygen in the air, the oxygen on Earth. As he absorbs the oxygen in the air, it mutated even more. It became like an imperfect genetic double of Godzilla, which the monster is called Orga. Not Orca, Orga. Orga, which has this monstrous-looking creature, and it walks around like hunched over, like gorilla-like, on his hands. Now, here's the thing about this one. Because this one I got here, because this one is released in America, in the United States, they did have a few things that were added in for its U.S. release. Like Orga's roar in the U.S. version which changed to Desghidorah's roar, which I liked better. It sounded like better in the English version. While in the Japanese version, he had a different roar, which pretty much they used which he has a different roar in the Japanese version. He didn't sound very intimidating, which was used in many video games, such as the Atari trilogy of Godzilla games. So monster Orga definitely gives Godzilla a hard time in the fights. Like, he bit Godzilla in the arm, trying to absorb his DNA. So then it ended when Orga was like all burned up, and then Godzilla allows Orga to try to swallow him whole, like a snake eating a rat. But when he see that he grows the dorsal fins like Godzilla, and Godzilla then tricks him and then fights his nuclear pulse, and then right when Orga shows up being tricked, he shows eyes like this. Like, it was so funny, and that was CGI, by the way. The scenes where Godzilla was swimming underwater was also CGI. And so after Godzilla then defeats Orga, then when you see the dorsal fins light up, it had sounds of Jedi lightsabers, which added in, which like a bit unnecessary to the plot line. And there's also some of Zilla's roar was heard in there, which is also still fits the character of Godzilla still. Then there was this guy who's trying to go after Godzilla, trying to kill him, and then Godzilla walks up to the guy and yells, "Godzilla!" And Godzilla kills him by knocking over the building and a piece of the building, and he falls to his doom. And Godzilla roars, and he walks away. And in the ending, you would think Godzilla's the hero in this end, but then it shows Godzilla destroying the city, and that was awesome ending. It even used like the same famous music from Godzilla from Ghidorah the Three-Headed Monster, as well as the Rodan theme, which is also the Rodan theme in in Godzilla vs. Mechagodzilla 2. And so would I recommend this movie? This is definitely a must watch. This is definitely one Godzilla movie I can go back to watching all the time. I had this on VHS once, and I eventually had it upgraded to DVD. And I need to get the Japanese version, the Blu-ray version of this one, which includes the Japanese version. And that's all I have to say, folks. And as always, stay awesome, my Monster Masters, and I'll catch you later. And stay tuned for more. Next, we'll be doing Godzilla vs. Megaguirus. And that's all for now. Bye!